we are now under a month away from our Odyssey Global Symposium, which will take place October 7th through 9th in New Brunswick, New Jersey, in the US. I'm certainly very excited as we've been getting preparation to now see the agenda and the collaborative showcase and all the components kind of coming together. And I'm very clear that it's going to be yet another great community event for us all. What we want to do today is share with you more of the details about what's going to take place at the symposium, so that for those of you who have not yet registered, and maybe you're on the fence about whether or not you're going to come, hopefully this will convince you that this is the place for you to be. For those of you who know that you're going to come but have not registered yet, this is the chance for you to know that Elise and I know who you are, and we will find you and we will hunt you down. And so just know that in advance. And for those of you who are newcomers and just wondering, like, is this an event that actually would be useful for me? I want to make sure that we go through and try to provide you with enough perspective so that you can make a good choice about whether or not to come join us in New Jersey. We have been making references to materials that are available on the Odyssey website for quite some time. But I'm going to take a moment to actually walk through the content so that you can go check it out yourself. And in the chat, as we go through this, we'll share various ones of these links as we go along. The main place for you to go to find out everything that I'm going to be sharing is odyssey.org/odyssey2025. That's where you will get to this website that provides details about the entire Odyssey Global Symposium. That includes information about how to register. When you register, you're going to have a choice of just attending our main conference, which will be Wednesday, October 8th, as well as the work group activities on October 9th. You all also have the opportunity to register separately for the tutorials, which are taking place on Tuesday, October 7th, and details about that are available here. The symposium agenda and all of the content, we're going to walk through the details of this with more depth here, but the schedule of events has all been posted here. That includes descriptions of each of the tutorials that are available on Tuesday, October 7th. The full agenda of the main conference day on the 7th, and the Wednesday the 8th, as well as a list of all of the work group activities that are going to take place on Thursday, October 9th. I'm going to go through the whole proceedings of everything, and then I'll invite our tutorial faculty to share a little bit more about what they have planned for their individual tutorials. And then at the end, we'll go through the work group activities. So anybody who's a work group lead that wants to promote and encourage people to come to your work group activities, certainly want to encourage you to do that. If you haven't yet booked a hotel in a room, we had room blocks available that have been sold out. You'll need to find places, but there are plenty of places around in the New Brunswick area to check out. So I hope that you'll do that. Probably the most exciting thing about our symposium is our collaborator showcase. And we will take time today to actually walk through and highlight some of the work that you all as a community have submitted that will play a prominent role at the symposium. We also have a few exhibitors that are members of our community that want to showcase the work that they do as organizations. And there are still spaces available. So if anybody is part of an organization that would like to exhibit, feel free to reach out to Elise. And then there's that pretty picture of all of us, and we'll be back there to take another pretty picture this year at the end of the day. So one of the main things that I'd like to highlight is the actual agenda, and I'm going to walk through this by first starting on the key theme and what we're doing during the main conference day on Wednesday, October 8th, and then I'll walk through the details of the tutorials, and then we'll circle back to the work group activities on Thursday, October 9th. As probably some of you might happen to have been aware of, there's kind of a worldwide assault on the question of what does science mean these days, and how do we actually know that we have trust in science, and how do we figure out ways to collaboratively work together towards building trust. And so I think that this year, probably more than any other year, there's a real need for something like what we are doing as an Odyssey Open Science community to come together and showcase what it can mean to be an open science community, what it can mean to foster international collaborations, and why the scientific output of a community like ours has the potential to be trusted and actionable to inform meaningful clinical decisions. And so this year's core theme of what we are going to be doing throughout the Global Symposium is really focused on building trust through reliable evidence and through international collaboration. At the main conference day on Wednesday, October 8th, we'll be starting early in the morning. For those who are newcomers to the community, this may be their first symposium. I encourage you to check out. Paul Nagy will be leading a newcomer orientation. This is really to get everybody a lay of the land of what's going on, who to meet with, and encourage everybody to use this as a meaningful opportunity for networking. For those who have never been to an Odyssey Symposium, I'll just highlight that I think it is different than many other scientific conferences in that we really purposely try to design and facilitate this to be a community activity that's focused on network engagement, sharing of work that's been done, but also trying to identify collaboration opportunities where we can work together. And so for those of you who are looking for finding other colleagues, whether it be in industry, academia, or government, whether it be in North America, Europe, the Asia Pacific region, Africa, LATAM, we want this to be a place where people feel comfortable and welcome to come, and encourage folks to engage meaningfully with each other with the aim towards fostering future collaborations. So Paul will kick off with our newcomer orientation for those that are brand new and want to get a lay of the land. And then we'll start at earnest at 8 a.m. George Ripsack will lead our State of the Community session, where we'll highlight the current progress of the community. Importantly here, this will not just be George presenting, although he'll kick it off, but we'll be inviting all of our regional and national nodes from around the world to join us to talk about the progress that we've been making internationally. And what I'll just preview as it relates to this is, I think that we have a lot as a global community to be proud of in terms of the work that's been done, not only here in the United States, where the event will be based, but actually particularly proud of the progress that's been made in each of the regions around the world. And we want to make sure that the regional and national accomplishments are recognized. At the same time, I think we should not be comfortable or settled in the progress that we're making, because I think that what we've seen is both geopolitically, but also maybe there's a microcosm in the Odyssey community, is as we've seen more collaborative efforts at a national scale, that means we've missed opportunities to work more broadly internationally. And I would say that one missed opportunity that I'm really going to be pushing you all on to think about is, how do we try to figure out how to work as one global community, so that we're not talking about what happened in North America, or what happened in Europe, or what happened in Africa, or what happened in the Asia Pacific region, but how do we actually talk about how we together can work as one unified community towards generating evidence that brings the best of the insights and knowledge and data together across North America, across Europe, across Africa, across LATAM, across the Asian Pacific regions, and that we're learning from each other. And you're going to see that that's going to be kind of a recurring theme throughout the day. After our State of the Community, we're going to be doing a group networking activity. I will only preview it to say that you're going to be getting up and doing something that should hopefully be fun and informative towards this goal of fostering future collaborations. So anybody who just wants to go to a conference and sit passively in their chair and just listen to things and not engage, you should probably not come to the Odyssey Symposium, because that's not going to be this kind of event. Rather, you should be prepared that if you come, you are going to be encouraged to actively engage and network and collaborate. And we've created some activities to foster that. From our networking activity, we're going to jump straight into our first of actually an extended set of collaborator showcase sessions. We actually had a wonderful collection of submissions from our community for the collaborator showcase that really demonstrate a real breadth of work in the areas of open community data standards, methodologic research, open source development, and clinical applications. And our scientific review committee did a wonderful job of reviewing all of those collaborator showcase submissions, going through that peer review process and providing feedback. And one of the things that the committee recognized was that there was such great science that was being showcased, that was being submitted, that we really needed to extend the time on the agenda to provide more opportunities for meaningful engagement with the collaborative showcase content. So based on the recommendation of our scientific review committee, we've actually split this into what will be 3 different sessions for opportunities for you to get up and walk around and check out the poster presentations and the software demos, as well as 2 different sessions of lightning talks where we'll have short presentations from the Collaborative Showcase submissions, showcasing work across the range of activities. So the first of those Collaborate Showcase sessions will take place from 9:30 to 10:15, and you'll be able to walk around the Hyatt Regency venue that we have to check out all of these posters and demos. One of the other feedbacks we received from last year's symposium, for those of you who maybe submitted to the Collaborator Showcase, maybe it was your feedback. Last year, we had a 2-hour block of time, and we asked each presenter to stand at their poster or demo for one of the 2 hours. And the feedback that we heard was, it's great that I get to brag about my science, but then I don't actually have enough time to go see everybody else's science. So specifically in response to that, we've split the session into 3 different sessions, and we're going to be asking that each member of each participant in the Collaborator Showcase will be in attendance of their poster or demo for one of those 3 sessions, thereby giving you 2 sessions for you to be able to explore and learn and network with others as you go through the results. From there, we're going to come back and reconvene in the main ballroom, and we're going to have our first of 2 plenary sessions. This session is the one that I'm particularly excited to share with the community. It's something that I think we've been percolating for some time, but I think at this point as a community, we've really reached a point where we can kind of reshape the narrative about trust in science. And specifically, what we're going to focus on is why network studies are necessary to improve trust in evidence. You know, many people right now are making claims about the current integrity of science and the replicability crisis that we now live in, whereby lots of individual studies are done and we don't know whether or not they can be trusted, and there isn't very much incentive for somebody to replicate a study to prove that the initial finding is true. And I think within our Odyssey community, we have a really great opportunity to demonstrate why our network studies and why bringing together a collection of databases around the world presents a unique opportunity that is quite literally the response to the replicability crisis. And so I plan to coordinate a fun group activity for us during our plenary session. Martine's going to be showcasing some of the foundational framework that we've now created to formalize this idea. But it's not just going to be a conceptual methodologic piece. You're also going to be hearing from Asya Golanzar and Cindy Kai about network studies that have gone in action in Odyssey and why it's actually made a difference for us to be able to run network studies the way we do. I hope at the end of that session, you'll be convinced that the only way forward, not just for Odyssey, but for the world at large, is going to be through running coordinated network studies. But after we've convinced you of that, we'll take a break to network and eat some lunch. And then we're going to come back, and I'm really honored that we have Judy Rakusin joining us. For those of you who don't know, Judy just recently retired from the FDA, and she will be sharing with us her reflections over 30 years at the FDA to talk about the evolution of drug safety. And I think in the current topical space where we're really questioning what's going on, I think having that long-term range is going to be valuable for our whole community to hear from. After that plenary, we're going to go into our first of 2 lightning talk sessions, where you will hear from 5 submissions from our collaborator showcase, covering topics in data standards and methods research. Both sessions will be moderated by 2 of our co-chairs of our early stage researcher group. And this will provide us a good opportunity to showcase some work through some shorter presentations, and then hopefully provide the opportunity for you all, after you hear something interesting, to go engage with these presenters and collaborate further. And it's a really nice breadth of organizations and individuals and topics that will be showcased during that session. We will go from the first of the two lightning talk sessions straight into another one of our collaborator showcase poster and demo sessions. And that will actually lead us throughout the afternoon to be able to review all of the posters and demos. And then we'll come back together for the second of the two lightning talk sessions where you'll hear from another 5 presentations showcasing methodologic work as well as clinical applications. And these were, again, selected from our scientific review committee, who did a great job of reviewing and trying to identify the breadth of content that really is representative of the scientific excellence that's going on for within our community. It's going to be a long day. I told you we're starting at 8 a.m. and we're not going to finish until 6, but I hope you'll bear with me. At 5 o'clock, I will start the closing session. That is when we will announce our 2025 Titan Awards. Again, a reminder, Craig mentioned today's the deadline for Titan nominations. So encourage, if you have any colleagues that you want to recognize, to get those in today. Our Titan committee will ultimately decide on the winners of that, and it'll be great to have George and Mark again share those awards on behalf of the community. And then I plan to give a closing talk, which I'm proud to say that I'm not waiting to the last moment to actually have planned. I already have it planned, and I promise that it will be memorable and fun and probably a little bit informative, but definitely something you've never experienced at any scientific conference you've ever been to. So that is, and then after that, Craig is going to force you all to run out and with a hopefully positive vibes of the symposium in front of you for us to take a group photo, and then you're going to have the whole night to yourself. We're not doing any sort of formal network opportunity. We actually heard from folks that New Brunswick, particularly where we're at in Hyde Regency, is a good place to go hang out, and folks wanted Todd to do that on the main day, so we definitely will do that. So that is what we're doing on the main conference day on Wednesday, October 8th. What I'll do is I'll rewind one day to the Tuesday, October 7th, which is going to be our first day and will be when we have a series of tutorials. Just to give you the logistics, we have an introductory tutorial that's going to be held from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is a great opportunity both for newcomers to the community who really want to just get a landscape, as well as folks that maybe you've been in the community and you focused on one particular area, whether you've been working on an ETL or you've been running a study locally or trying to use Odyssey tools, and you don't necessarily have a good vantage point of the big picture. Erica, Yong, Katie, and Nicole will be providing this introductory tutorial. It's a great opportunity for you to get that bird's eye view. In addition, concurrent to the introductory tutorial, we're going to be hosting our first vocabulary-a-thon. Alexander and members of the vocabulary team will be using the morning session as an opportunity to meaningfully engage on ways we as a community could work on improving our Odyssey standardized vocabularies. So there's good opportunities for you to engage as early in the morning on Tuesday the 8th as possible. After that first introductory tutorial, we'll have a lunch, and then we have a series of 5 concurrent advanced tutorials. This is actually a new collection of tutorials that we haven't done, and actually some of them we've never done before at all. Claire, Karthik, Evanet, Max, and Maxime will be leading our tutorial on developing an ETL. Anna, Vlad, Polina, and Masha will be giving a tutorial on the Odyssey standardized vocabularies. I'll be working with Anik and Cindy on a tutorial focused on how to run characterization analyses within the Odyssey community. George, Martine, Lingying, and Tara will be giving the tutorial on population level effect estimation. And then Jenna, Ayek, and Ross will be giving a tutorial on patient level prediction. So there's a great collection of tutorials to be able to choose amongst. And I don't believe that there's anybody in our community that's an expert in all of these areas. So it's a great opportunity to learn and engage. I'm going to open it up to the tutorial members to try to promote folks to come to their class in just a second. But I just want to round this out to say, if you are coming for the Collaborator Showcase on Wednesday, we actually are asking you to come on the Tuesday to be able to hang up your poster. And we're specifically holding a network reception the evening of Tuesday, the 8th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is both intended just to use that first day as an opportunity for us to meaningfully engage and network with each other, but also as an opportunity for folks to see the content of the collaborator showcase and to engage meaningfully with it. Without giving too much away, I will just say that I may have figured out a way to gamify the network reception such that you're going to need to engage with the collaborator showcase content. And so you should have some fun in addition to learning a lot during that session. So it's going to be a busy day starting us out on Tuesday, October 7th. What I want to do now, though, is because many of you may be struggling with deciding which of these tutorials you should sign up for, I'll open the floor to our tutorial faculty to promote their individual classes. And maybe Erica, I'll let you go first since you're the intro one, so you can convince people to come early in the morning, and then I'll let the advanced tutorial faculty say why they should choose amongst their classes.
So the introduction tutorial is the best tutorial, even though it starts at 8 a.m. But I'll echo what Patrick said. So if you are a beginner or newcomer, or just maybe a little rusty, I think the intro is a great way to prepare for Wednesday. So like it's going to touch on all the key ideas like CDM, vocab, methods, our thoughts on open source development, and then clinical application. So it's like a great teaser to Wednesday. However, I'll even say if you've been in the Odyssey community for a long time, I also welcome you coming because actually one of my fond memories of Jamie Weaver is he would come and he would help everybody during the tutorial. So maybe some of you guys can come and sit in Jamie's place during the tutorial. So I hope to see you there.
Great. Thank you, Erica. So once you come for the intro tutorial, it makes obvious sense that you'd stick around and join one of our advanced tutorials. And so I'll open it up for any of the faculty that are on the call that'd like to share why they should come to your tutorial. Now's your chance to make the promotion. Claire, go ahead.
All right, so as you shared, a major focus of this year's symposium is going to be around how we can work together and why network research is so important. Obviously, the basis of network research here in Odyssey is standardized data. So maybe you're someone who isn't necessarily new to the community, but maybe you are still either working on getting your data standardized, or maybe you're still working to convince your leadership that your data needs to be standardized. But we have all that you will need to get your data into the OMOP CDM in our ETL or extract, transform, and load tutorial. I'm very excited about this because we have options for those who are technical and those who are not technical. And one of our tutorial faculty, Max, he has some new tools. He's going to share some really cool things he's put together, and I'm excited to see what he shows us. So I hope you'll join us.
That does sound like at least one good tutorial. But Jenna, what could be even better?
Hi, so I'm representing the patient level prediction tutorial. So in this tutorial, you'll learn how to actually think about creating a patient level prediction task, how to apply best practices to develop models, and you'll even get hands-on experience for developing those models. And why come to this tutorial? Well, I'll bring cookies, and if we get enough people, I'll also get some British candy. So you'll get to try some new candy at the tutorial.
Wow, so if AI wasn't sexy enough, you also can be bribed with calories. That's going to be hard to beat, but Anna or George, you want to make an argument for your tutorials?
Sure. Hi there. We're looking forward to the tutorial on population level estimation, or in other words, how to make causal inferences from these large databases. And it's Martine and Linying and Tara and I. We actually put on some of this during the July Columbia DBMI summer school. So we'll be using some of that material where we had people run real network studies, and we're working on how to best fit that into the 4 hours. One nice thing about this tutorial is that it leads in nicely to the plenary session the next day that gives you background material about why we need network studies. So I hope you come to any of the tutorials, including mine and ours.
That's probably as much promotion as you'll possibly get out of George Ripsack. But that was pretty good. I'll still give you a B+ for that, George. Anna, you want to make a pitch for your vocab tutorial?
I don't think she's on. She's away right now.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, if that none of those enticed you, I would just say that the truly best tutorial is clearly the one on characterization. Because while everybody thinks it's super sexy to do machine learning and AI, or they think it's super valuable to do causal inference, we know that in truth, the most unsexy thing is the thing that everybody asks for all the time, mostly like 90% of the work in industry, which is just to do characterization studies. And so we haven't actually offered a characterization tutorial in quite some time. We had huge advancements in our community, including development of tools within the Darwin EU program, and advances in our Hades packages to do characterization. So it's going to be a great time to talk about the science and design and implementation of characterization tools. So I hope you'll join Anik and Cindy and myself for this course, and Aza for this course, because we'll provide a new tutorial that will give you a great chance to learn about how to design and implement characterization studies. So hopefully I convinced you all you need to be there for Tuesday, October 7th to attend our tutorials. Certainly we're looking forward to having you all at the network reception in the evening. I know that all of you will be engaging with us fully on Wednesday, October 8th, except for apparently Michael Cook, who's too good for my closing talk, but we'll forgive that, I guess. But then the reason why we've got a meaningful day there is because we don't want to just talk about the potential for collaboration, but we want to start acting on the opportunities for collaboration. And so Thursday, October 9 is going to be an opportunity for you all to engage through our work group activities, which our work group leads have been working hard to make sure that they can take the most of this time. There is a series of work group activities that range in duration based on what the work groups have asked for. But just to give everybody like a high level schematic of this, there will be work group sessions that start at 8 a.m. Some of them continue throughout the day. Some of them go into 2 or 4 hour increments. And so you can see the list of those here. There will be a break in between so that you have an opportunity to stretch your legs or transition between work group activities if you don't know where to spend your time. We will have a communal lunch together, and then we'll have a work group activity. The one piece of feedback we actually got from last year was people really liked the engagement and the deep focus in their work group activities, but I heard a lot of people having a lot of FOMO because people were wondering what was happening in the other work group activities that they weren't a part of. So in response to that, at the end of the day, we are going to have a work group summary. So we hope that everybody will come together so that in addition to having spent the time working on the work group activities that you were a part of, you'll at least be able to get exposure to and hear about the progress of the other work group activities so that you don't feel like you missed out, but you actually have some sort of a sense of all the collaboration opportunities that are going on throughout our community, and hopefully that'll energize you to get engaged in the areas that make most sense. So with that, I'll open it up. If any work group leads would like to promote their work group activities and try to convince people to come to their activities, this would be a great opportunity for you to share what you're doing and why people should join. And I apologize, I can't see the hands raising, so I'll ask maybe Craig to moderate, but ask any work group leads that want to share what you're doing, just go ahead and raise your hand, and then Craig can call on you.
Martijn.
Yeah, I actually want to demote my work group activity or the Hades work group activity. Honestly, at the Odyssey Euro Symposium, what we noticed is that people think that the Hades hackathon is something that will teach you the basics of what Hades is about, and I'm afraid that is just not true. The Hades hackathon is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of developers getting together with their laptops and just starting to hack code. And everybody is welcome to join as long as you understand that that is what we're going to do. We're going to sit together and hack code and maybe talk to each other. Maybe not. So, thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Martijn. I appreciate the demotion. We want to promote those introverts that want to hack code and demote those that just want to watch others hack code. So that'll be one room that will there'll be a lot of activity going on. Claire.
Yeah, so we have the common data model work group activity. If you don't want to go to the hackathon, which sounds like maybe Martine says don't, I'm just kidding. Come on over to CDM. So if you remember, the one of the OKRs we set up for the CDM work group this year was to define the next version of the CDM. It's going to be in our version 5 series. We're currently on version 5.4. We've got some great suggestions and requests for updates to the model, and we've been working on that this year. The goal, the very ambitious goal in these couple of hours on the Thursday, right? It's Thursday.
Yep.
Is that we want to walk out with a schematic for the next version of the CDM. So if you are interested, if you want to be, involved in these decisions and how we go about defining updates to the model and changes to the model, I definitely encourage you to join. We want as many people in the community with us so we can make this decision collectively.
Good. Thank you, Claire. Cynthia?
Yeah, for the Africa chapter, haven't completely finalized it, but there'll be a brief overview of what we've been doing the past few years. And then we're going to have a sizable chunk of time devoted to addressing the gaps in vocabulary that perhaps are unique to the African context, and how we're going to try and compile lists that then can be suggested to the vocabulary team. And then we'll have Michel Walravens demo his translation platform that he's built that will facilitate translating the Book of Odyssey to any language. And we'd love to have people who are native speakers of other languages come together at that session and form little groups that will then be the unit that takes on the next edition of the Book of Odyssey and getting that into another language more quickly, so for greater global dissemination.
Great. Thank you, Cynthia. So if you're not enticed by going to the Africa chapter meeting, then maybe Nicole will entice you to go think about surveys. Nicole. Oh, you're on mute, Nicole.
Sorry about that. Hello.
Yep.
So the survey subgroup is going to have our first workshop at this year's Global Symposium. We're also going to be participating in the Vocabulathon. So we're using our next 2 group meetings to put together our objectives and basically what we would like as our key results for each of these sessions. So sort of mini OKRs to help move our bigger OKRs forward. So if you're interested in having a say in what we're going to be talking about, I invite you to come to those 2 meetings. And then once we've finalized those agendas, I will post them on the wiki for you. So I'll put a link to our wiki if you just want to see what we've been up to and if this might be a group you would like to participate in.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks.
So I know that everybody's excited about surveys, but some people might particularly care about cancer. So Asya, what are those people? Where should those people go?
I have to say that I care about survey and Africa chapter and everything. So my apologies that I cannot attend. But if you're interested in global collaboration and also interested to have some interest in oncology, want to work on RWE in oncology at a very large scale, the global scale, please join us. We've been doing a lot of work since last year, starting with collecting community-wide use cases, using them for prioritization, working on the gaps in the vocabulary and improvement of the quality of the network partners, all of our data partners, and we want to make progress. Like a lot, like similar to the work that we're doing with Falcon Bladder, the Guideline-a-thon, what we call the Guideline-a-thon, and everything else, talking about specific pillars that need attention and using that time to find areas that, as a work group, we need to provide support to the data partners. So that's like improving the quality. How can we formalize the evidence generation process so we can do these things faster? And what are the needs and what are the gaps? how can we improve the depth of the data. So there are a lot of different proposals that are coming through the work group. That's the time that we're going to focus, work together, think together, and come up with a list of activities for next year. Please join us.
Very good. Thank you, Asya. And you should totally do that unless you're particularly interested in phenotyping, in which case Oz is going to tell you what you should do instead.
Okay, because it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning, and you'll be super impressed with the day before, particularly impressed with some of the talks that you heard about Gen AI and how it can be used for phenotype development that Joel gonna present, and also there's others posters. So you want to come to the phenotype working group, where we're gonna spend some time evaluating the work with what we are getting from Gen AI and LLM in helping us in phenotype development and evaluation. We'll try to do a work session that we're trying to actually evaluate that work with the phenotypes we have from Phenotype February this year and what we have in the library. And also we're gonna spend some time looking at the new shape of the phenotype library that will come live just before the symposium, with just a user interface that the work group is working on. So we'll spend time on that and dig more into the method of phenotype development and evaluation, and how can Gen AI help us in that large-scale phenotyping that we're all trying to get into one day. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Aza. So you heard from a lot of the different work groups. Does anybody else want to showcase their activities? If not, since we have about 10 minutes left, I think we could just open the floor. If anybody has any questions about the symposium, want to encourage you all, if you haven't registered yet, please do register. You can go to odyssey.org/Odyssey 2025, and you can get to all the links. Encourage you to try to register. It causes both Elise and me during this time of the year, it causes us hypertension to watch the registration list and figure out how many people we need to be prepared for. We have got pretty awesome swag this year, so if you're on the fence and wondering what you're going to get, we also have a few silly things in store that make an Odyssey Symposium unique that you should be prepared for. So those are all the encouragements. Plus, apparently, there's going to be British candy if you go to the prediction tutorial. So lots of reasons to come. Probably the most important one is because collectively we can make a huge difference in humanity by collaborating together. And this is going to be a great focal point for demonstrating why that's the case and for us to create a concrete path forward. But we'll open it up. If anybody has any questions or comments or anything that they'd like to raise about the symposium, then now's your chance. If not, then we can give you a few minutes back, but I want to thank you all. Oh, go ahead, Craig.
Do you want to show the handout?
Oh, shoot. I was wondering why we had more time. Yes, thank you. The most important thing, which I forgot, is in fact our collaborator showcase. So on the website, you will actually be able to review all of the collaborator showcase submissions, at least the titles and the presenters. You will actually see the breadth of content that is available, which is truly inspiring. We have tried to organize this into a series of sections. So we have presentations about community building that you will see throughout. You're going to see that these are all color-coded, and we'll explain that in just a second. We've got a range of submissions, over 50 submissions in the areas of observational data standards and management from a range of different collaborators around the world, showcasing work in how they're using the CDM and ETL and improving vocabularies to improve their data quality. So we've got a wide range of nice topics there. We have a good collection of methodologic research submissions, which are covering areas of both including LLM innovations that we talked about just a couple weeks ago, as well as improvements towards prediction and estimation and characterization tools. So there's some really nice highlights there. There is a collection of posters and software demos in the area of open source analytics development, showcasing a wide range of tools, both in the data standard space as well as the analytics space, and particularly seeing a lot of really nice submissions on how do we build workflows to generate more efficient evidence generation pipelines. And then we've got over 20 submissions of clinical applications showcasing folks executing analyses to generate results in our network. As I mentioned before, because we have these 3 different sessions, there'll be ample time for you to actually engage with the presenters. Each of the presenters will be at their poster for one of those 3 sessions and be able to highlight that work. Let's I highlight this. Our lightning talks will also provide the opportunity for folks to hear presentations and then engage during the other sessions. And then we have an entire room of 16 software demonstrations that are going to allow you to directly see tools in action and think about how you can incorporate them into our workflow. So we have over 150 contributions from our community that will be showcased. They're all available on the website to go check out and peruse. For those of you who made a collaborator showcase submission, note that you will be asked to submit your poster and any supplemental material post on our website. That's both so that we get your content and have it available. It's also so that Craig can continue to promote your work through our Odyssey social showcase that'll take place after the symposium. But probably most importantly is we got to get it up so that those that are attending the symposium can actually go engage with your material and find you and collaborate with you. And so we're trying to facilitate that as much as possible through the symposium. We also will, as we have done in years past, the scientific review committee has identified those submissions that we're going to consider to be candidates for best community contribution awards. Those are denoted on the sheet, and you'll be able to, after the symposium, after you've been able to review all of that work, you'll be able to vote to decide on our best community contributions. So I think it's going to be a really wonderful time to engage in our collaborator showcase. You'll be able to see the content in the network reception on Tuesday, October 7th evening, and then be able to meaningfully engage with the content and the individuals who are the contributors throughout the day on Wednesday, October 8th.